Hey guys, Mossin here. Today we're going to be talking about all the capabilities of the Omnitrix. Let's get into it. Now you guys might be wondering, another garbage Ben 10 video? The bloody hell are you doing, man? But then again, Ben 10 is what this channel does best. So we're going to start off with the default features that the Omnitrix can do. 4 main functions represented by 4 different colors. The transformation function, commonly represented by the color green, is essentially the main function of the Omnitrix. Its main function is to transform the user into different species. But it wasn't originally meant for battle though. It was proposed as a piece, like a gift of peace by Azimuth because something to do with Ascalon, the incursions, and some other shit like that. But let's get back onto the main topic. The transformation function is pretty self-explanatory. It lets the user, commonly Ben Tennyson, turn into different alien species. And if you haven't watched Ben 10, he basically just pops the dial up on the watch and then just smacks it down to turn into any alien. And the thing about the Omnitrix is that it'll turn the user into the healthiest version of an alien. So if he was going to turn into another human, he'd basically get to the skill level of... Alright, on to the second setting. Represented by the color red, we have recharge mode. So everyone knows about recharge mode. It essentially happens after Ben's transformed. He tires out and the Omnitrix has to recharge in order for the Omnitrix to be able to let him transform into a new alien. In the original series, the Omnitrix let Ben stay as an alien for around 10 minutes or so in order to stop the alien DNA from overwhelming Ben. You can also get a hint that the Omnitrix is fusing into Ben's DNA when he says,
"It freaked me out at first. It was like I was me, but it was also like I was somebody else."
And we also have other instances of the Omnitrix DNA overwhelming Ben. For example, in Ghost Freaked Out, when Ghost Freak just possesses Ben and possesses others, overwhelming their DNA. And Big Chill, when Big Chill was going through its reproductive cycle. Ben had 14 kids by himself. Now, for the Omnitrix's recharge time, it can span between like 5 minutes and like 10 minutes or something like that. But we'll see when Ben gets older, when he gets to that Ben 10,000 level, he unlocks the Master Control, which is only unlocked like once in the classic series. But essentially, if you've seen the episode Ben 10,000, then you'll see that now the Omnitrix does not need to recharge. Ben just hits an alien and can stay an alien for as long as he wants. Now, there's only one other instance of Ben staying in an alien form longer than his normal period of time, and that was in Benwolf. But we'll get onto the reason why later in the video. Now this function carries on to the recalibrated version of the Omnitrix, and it might be in the Omniverse series, but if it is, then it's not shown as red, it's just shown as green, but you can tell it's in recharge when he's not using it. The difference is in Ultimate Alien, the Ultimatrix, because it's not an official Omnitrix created by Azimuth, the recharge wasn't depending on a time limit, it depended on how much energy Ben had at the time. Now we're on to the cool feature, capture mode, or scanning mode if you want. This mode, represented by the color yellow, allows Ben to scan any species that hasn't been added to his Omnitrix. Even though there are over 1 million genetic samples within the Omnitrix, there are still some species that Azimuth hasn't even met to be able to receive their DNA. However, there was one case of the capture mode going just wild. That was the aforementioned episode Benwolf, where Ben transformed into Benwolf and stayed in that mode for a couple of hours. That was because the Omnitrix was still in between active mode and scanning mode, so it was still like probably taking in the DNA of the, what's Benwolf species? Loboan DNA. Now we're getting on to one of the features that we really don't want to happen. Orange setting, representing self-destruct mode. Ooh dear. What was the purpose of this, Azimuth? So this feature has only been seen twice. Once in Ben 10, Secret of the Omnitrix, where Ben went up against Dr. Animo and nearly killed himself when going up against a nuclear reactor. And then the second time was for the Alien Force series finale, where Ben had to activate the self-destruct to get the Omnitrix away from Vilgax, because Vilgax had the Omnitrix and Ben didn't want that to happen, and Omnitrix go boom.
3, 2, 1.
Now in Secret of the Omnitrix, the self-destruct mode was turned off, thankfully, but Tetrax also mentioned that the Omnitrix, if the Omnitrix goes boom, then the universe goes boom.
If the self-destruct is allowed to detonate, the explosion will cause an energy ripple that will literally rip apart the universe.
But in Alien Force, Ben only let the charge build up for 20 seconds before the Omnitrix exploded.
It would if I let the charge build up for a few days, but I'm only giving you 30 seconds.
Detonation in T-minus 20 seconds.
My bad. 20 seconds.
And I should also mention, Ben committed Grand Theft Ultimatrix in this. Yeah, basically, Ben tries to get Albedo to give him his Ultimatrix by just threatening him with the self-destruct mode.
I'll be taking your Omnitrix. Ultimatrix.
And thankfully, Albedo handed over the Ultimatrix so Ben could go. If Vilgax was knocked out for a few minutes by the Omnitrix explosion, how would he be alive after that? Honestly, what the bloody hell, man? Now that we're done with the main features, let's go into some other colors that the Omnitrix has given off. The first time it happened was in the live-action Ben 10 Race Against Time movie. In this film, the antagonist Eon tried to get Ben's Omnitrix to activate Eon's DNA in order to get Ben to become the ruler of his species, the Cronians. And because Eon was trying to get his DNA into the Omnitrix, it somehow turned purple because Eon's color is purple. And yeah. But the second time it turned purple was in Ultimate Alien, the episode Ben 10,000 Returns, where Eon comes back into the timeline and essentially just vaporizes Ben as Waving. Yeah, basically the Ultimatrix symbol turned purple and then Ben got Thanos snapped. And yeah, Ben 10,000 Returns basically got the entire Race Against Time movie retconned because Eon is actually another version of Ben Tennyson. Well, Ben 10,000, but same thing. Now, the other instance of this happening was in the CGI movie, Ben 10 Destroy All Aliens. In this movie, the premise of it was Gwen shooting a mana spell at Upgrade while he was trying to take down a villain by merging into it, which is kind of weird, but... yeah, it turned the Omnitrix symbol, like, green mixed in with pink. Essentially, the Omnitrix got overloaded with Gwen's mana, and it did some weird stuff. It absorbed stuff like Ben's homework,
Turn off that.
Ben's laptop, Azimuth, when he got turned into an evil Waybig, them,
Ben?
and because the Omnitrix was so overloaded with mana, it somehow turned Azimuth into an evil Toku star. And for some reason, Azimuth's Waybig looks exactly like Albedo's from Cosmic Destruction. Why? Now, as I mentioned previously, Ben had unlocked the Master Control in the episode... what was it? Oh, the episode was Back with a Vengeance. That's the name. So as I explained before, the Master Control lets Ben stay as an alien indefinitely. But yeah, basically, Ben was messing around with the Omnitrix and then Master Control just activated instantly.
So? Uh-oh. Please tell me I didn't bust this thing again. Maybe it's just some kind of an upgrade. Whoa, what happened? I never even touched it. Unless, maybe now I don't have to.
And yeah, Ben got the Omnitrix ripped out of his arm. The other time Ben got Master Control was in Season 2 of Alien Force when he was going up against the hybrid and DNA aliens. In the battle, Azimuth didn't want the Omnitrix being so precious to get destroyed in the battle, so he didn't really want Ben to fight. After seeing how Ben was reluctant to give up, Azimuth just